Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Luna and I here again. It's an absolutely gorgeous day today, really warm, so we're out enjoying the sunshine. I wanted to talk today about fake spiritual healers or coaches that keep popping up everywhere online. If I'm squinting my eyes, the sun's right in my eyes, so I can't turn the video or the camera around because it would be too blinding. But a lot of these fake spiritual healers and teachers and coaches, I'm seeing them pop up everywhere online, and it's a bit concerning to me. So we're going to have a little bit of a talk about it and see where it goes. Like nowadays, you can see more and more people are looking into spirituality, and that's fantastic. I mean, when I was like 19 or 20, it was almost a taboo to talk about things like that. People thought you were crazy or you were weird, or you had to be stuck to a belief structure, and if you went outside of that box, it was woo woo. But thankfully we're seeing a lot more younger people getting involved in spirituality and taking responsibility for their own growth. Unfortunately, alongside that, we're seeing a big trend of clickbait, fake coaches, fake spiritual teachers coming up alongside it, and I've seen this over the last few years. And I decided to make this video because I don't want people to get caught up in that, because that'll take you down a rabbit hole that you just don't want to go down. I'm someone that's always been on a sort of a quest outside of the norm. I've always been very different. I've never been indoctrinated into any religious belief systems. I've never held any of those ideals. I've always been able to see them for what they are. And I mean, the way that I view religions is the inherent original teachings and texts have truth in them, but then they're warped or they're changed in order to fit a system, like a control system. So I don't believe in any of that sort of thing. But the original texts, like texts in the Bible, texts in the Quran, you know, um, the Old Testament, all those sort of things, they're all valuable teachings in them if you know how to look at them and read them correctly. I've always had, like an inner calling for my own inner depth and my own inner work. And when I started meditating, I went straight to the source. I started looking at the Buddhist text, the Vedic text, the Hindu text. And when I first started to learn to meditate, there was a Buddhist monastery close by to where I lived. And I used to go there. And what you'll find is that most Buddhist monasteries, they're everywhere. And if you can't find one local, you'll find them online. They usually have Zoom meditation sessions. So you can go there and you can learn to meditate properly with the monks, and it's free. And they usually have text, they'll read from text. And if you want to know anything about the history, if you want to know anything about different meditation techniques and what it's all about, they'll give you the correct knowledge and they'll lead you to the correct teachings. They're not going to lead you down this sort of shallow, um, uneducated, ill-informed route that you've got to be very careful of, that's going on online at the moment. And you can't go wrong with that because it's authentic, and these monks have spent years and dedicated years of their lives to learning the texts, learning the techniques, and bringing them to anyone who wants to know or wants to learn. So you know that you're not going to be fooled, and it doesn't cost anything, it's free. I have never come across a monastery yet that at some point through the week they have free meditation sessions where you can join the monks chanting, walking, whatever, lots of different types of techniques. There is no obligation on you to stay or leave. You can come and go. They're not trying to indoctrinate you. You're not trying to preach to you. They just want you to, if you want to learn, you can learn. If you want to leave, you can leave. It's very open. So, what I've noticed online, especially probably within the last few years, is a lot of clickbait, spirituality, a lot of people out there saying that they're coaches, they're healers, they're gurus, and they're not. Anytime I've looked at any of these people online, it's been very shallow, it's been very ill informed, and there's no depth to a lot of these teachings at all. And a lot of these courses, I've seen that they're, want you to do a 6 week course or 12-week course, and it's costing you maybe 2 grand or something like that. And then they're swearing that you'll be totally healed and you'll have recovered from whatever sort of suffering that you've been going through. So this is the main reason why I wanted to do this video, is don't go near any of that stuff. That is a trap, and it's basically a lot of crap, so please stay away from that. And a lot of this is about money. It's about making money from a movement that is up and coming, and a lot of people are researching and going on that journey, especially a lot of young people you see are coming up onto the spiritual journey now, and they're looking for guidance, and they're sort of coming up alongside that and claiming to be able to give them that guidance, but they're not. So be very careful about anyone who's asking you to go on a 10-week or 12-week course and they're going to solve all your problems and you'll be enlightened or whatever. That it's just nonsense. It does not work that way. It never will. Every single person who's on their spiritual path is unique to them. There's no set time frame. There's no one size fits all awakening story. Everyone is different. We're all unique. And I would encourage anyone who wants to learn about meditation, wants to learn about spiritual texts, is to go to a Buddhist monastery. And if you do not have one close by, go online. There's ones from all over the world where they have Zoom meetings and you can connect and you can do live meditations with them. You can do them every single day, and a lot of them have talks and they'll talk about the texts, and they'll also give you pointers on who you can look up, good teachers and things like that that can help you along. And I think one of the things that really disheartens me is a lot of people are very genuine. They want to go on that spiritual path, they want to grow, they want to learn, they want to understand, and they're being taken advantage of. And especially when they're usually probably starting off in a very vulnerable state anyway, and that's the height of exploitation, which is not good. And one of the things I've learned, I learned to meditate from Buddhist monks. I learned a lot about texts from them, and then they gave me, advice on who I could look up, who were good teachers. And one of the things that if you go to any Buddhist monastery or talk to any Buddhist monks, they will tell you that you don't need a guru, you don't need a teacher, you don't need a guru. You just need someone to start you on the right foundation. And once you get on that foundation and you sort of get a leg in, then that's you, because it's just basically a continuation of that from then on. There's no magic secret formula that anybody out there online has got, so don't believe any of that nonsense and don't get hooked in. This woman online not so long ago, and she was advertising herself as a meditation life coach that, and there's so many of them, but this is just one example. There's thousands of them online if you look, and they're all over the place. You can see a lot of businesses popping up in towns. I've noticed that as well, and they're all the same. But I saw this woman online, and she was advertising herself as a life coach, teaching meditation, teaching mindfulness, promising that if you did her 6 week course, and I think it was like 2 grand, that you'd be totally healed, whatever you were suffering from. Um, I can't remember actually whether she said you'd be enlightened or not, but there are some who claim that, which is quite scary. But anyway, so as I looked into her, not that I wanted to go to her, I was just sort of researching it. But as I looked into her more and more, her life was a shambles. So she was a complete contradiction of what she was trying to teach. So she claimed she did meditation herself for so many years. She did yoga, she read texts, whatever. But when I asked her questions about meditation, about texts, about how she learned, it was very shallow and very baseline. She didn't really have a clue what she was talking about. But I later found out that this woman was involved with fraud, not fraud to do with her online work that she was claiming, but fraud in her own life in other ways. And she had a lot of dodgy things going on in her life. So basically, she jumped on the spiritual coach bandwagon to try and make herself some easy money. And I feel so sorry for anybody who got taken advantage of by this woman, because I'm sure some people probably have. And you're seeing a lot of this out here, so that's why I want people to be very careful. Be very, very careful about what you're watching, and be very careful about who you're going to for advice regarding this. And as I said, go to the source. The Buddhist monks have been around since day dot. They know what they're talking about. They've practiced over generations and generations, the same as the Vedic and the Hindu texts. You know, these people have been around since time almost began, you know, and it's a formula repeated that they use time and time again. They don't stray for it. And, I mean, you have some different types of Buddhist, um, different types of monks, but they're all doing the same thing. They just might have, some of them might have martial arts practice alongside it or whatever. They're just slight differences. So that's what I would say. That would be my advice. Go to someone like that, learn how to do it, and then you can either stay and carry on doing it along with them, or you can just continue on yourself once you've learned. You learn different techniques, or else go to someone who has learned from these teachers. You know, there are some good teachers online, but I'm not going to advertise anybody here, because I think we all sort of are unique, and we all navigate to certain individuals depending on our own style. So one person might be right for you, but you might like another person. I would just say, make sure that that person has went down that route themselves and just ask questions. But please, please stay away from these fake spiritual teachers that are online, because they're going to cause you more harm than help you. And it's all about getting money, and it's all about getting clicks, and that's not a proper spiritual path. That's deceit. So the last thing I will say, I'm just going to repeat myself again, is you don't need to pay money. You don't need to go on a course. You don't need some special formula. All you need to do is start the right way. Either go to a Buddhist monastery, they will teach you different meditation techniques, they'll teach you the sort of texts to look at, they'll give you help, they'll give you ideas. That's what they're there for. They're open to the public. Or if you don't have one close, go online. There's big Buddhist temples all around the world that are online Zoom, and you can join from all over the world, and they do live meditations every single day, and they normally do teachings as well. And you can ask them questions. You can ask them questions about spiritual teachers, people to look up, books you can read, and such on, and that will get you started on the right path and the right community. Please, please stay away from these fake spiritual teachers on YouTube and online that are advertising that they can solve your problems for you. they can't. So until next time, from me and my lovely girl here, take care.